be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simply means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody control me. Stick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a man. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a man. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. That friend you're all.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, slide and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor.
If only I had half of my digit, only would understand why I have to stretch like twice. Anyway, you guys are interested in my day, right? Hello, one and all. Welcome to Ridealong Live, and I'm gonna apologize for the tardy start, the late start today. I came straight from my event, straight on air, direct. I didn't stop. So you guys are very, very lucky, because I was thinking that I had to postpone today. As man, I was sitting there saying, I hope that I make it at least for 6:15, because it wasn't looking so 20 minutes ago. Guys, we don't have a lot of time to do the roll call and all these things, because we're a little bit late. But I still want to big up all the regulars in the chat. Of course, we have everybody. Just say I share, guys. Just say I share. Hey, Rain Charles, thank you so much. Rain Charles, how are you doing? Doug, thank you so much for sharing the post, sharing the live. Hey, she changed her name and all kind of thing. Miss Lewinsky, how you doing? Yeah. Tamika Rogers, how you doing? Guys, share the program and say I share. Share the program and say I share, because today we have a very important program lineup for you. A very important, very interesting program lineup for you guys. Genevieve, Gita, Lord, where this girl been? Where you been, Genevieve? I ain't see you in how long? Good thing. Erica, thank you so much. Good evening. Cindy, thank you so much. Lacey J, thank you so much. Yeah, good evening, Rain. All right, guys. So, over the past couple days, right? The people of Chantimelle made headlines. Yeah. We saw videos and excerpts of videos and things that's happening, and a lot of it came through like in pieces, right? Like, what does this have to do with that? What does that have to do with this, right? We saw a video that basically showed an outraged community. It seemed like a whole community was just outraged over what a lot of people didn't quite understand. Well, today we're going to put it all into perspective, right? Let me just also preface by saying that I have a live interview with the Sandra Neckles, right? And I did her interview about 20 minutes ago, right? So that was before the breaking news. Now, let me tell you guys the breaking news. The breaking news is that Mr. Neckles was found. Mr. Neckles was found. And I know you're asking, who the hell is Mr. Neckles? we're going to bring it all into perspective for you. Let me bring on my first guest, right? He is in the back and he's ready to help us understand the whole concept. Before we bring in Miss Neckles on her exclusive interview, let's chat live here with Danley Alexis. Danley, I'd like to thank you for taking the time. I know it was short notice, but you took the time to come on here and try to explain the situation to us. So, Danley, thank you so much. How are you doing, Danley?
Pretty okay, and thanks for the invitation.
No problem, Danley. Danley, I want you to help us put this thing into perspective, right? Because we in the diaspora and everyone around the world have been seeing sporadic videos of different things happening, and we don't quite understand why the people of Chantimelle so upset over this one particular individual in the neighborhood. Bring us up to speed.
Well, let me first say it's very unfortunate, but it has ended in that it has reached to that point where the people and persons could not have taken it anymore, so they somewhat exploded. This thing started a lot of years ago. There are some matters that are pending before the courts in excess of 3 years. There's this gentleman that is living in the area that came to live in the area after his father died. And he is of the opinion that all the lands that was belonging to his dad is still belonging to him, although the father had sold the lands even before he died, even before he passed away.
Right.
And he is just entering person's land. I mean, if I have to stay home a bit, the closest neighbor, for instance, she has been living in hell. Both she and her husband. They have been living in hell. They cannot plant anything in the land. He goes into the land at any time. He cuts what he wants. He destroys what they plant. And he spray because he's just using chemicals. Entering people's land, spraying the land, cutting their stuff, cutting down trees without the permission.
But I guess
Yes,
the question is, so if he's doing all of these illegal things, why haven't you guys called the police? Why don't you get the police involved?
The police has been involved. And I have to admit, the police has done their part. I know sometimes they'll be very tardy, but they have been doing their part in terms of taking the complaints and making the arrests. Some of those matters is before the court. But Junior, the problem is that when the matter goes before the court, that is where the sticking point is. And this thing has been happening now, as I say, some in excess of 3 years.
So are you telling us that this man, the police would do their job and it would go to court and it would get shown out of court?
Not shown out. But this guy matter, he has about close to 100 matters before the court. And initially, he was dealing with a magistrate that he was related to. That magistrate has just since passed on. But the matters has been before about 5 different magistrates. And anytime you go there, you have the problem with Curtis sending in a sick leave, or he made the point that the land is in dispute. And if I may say so, lands that are disputed is determined by the High Court.
Right.
He's very knowledgeable of the law. He's a guy who knows the law. So he uses that intelligence, that knowledge, to further his myth that he owns the land. And the matter just keep postponing. He just keeps sending in sick leave. Other times his lawyer would not be present because they are attending High Court. And it's just a whole load of excuses. And it has reached to this point where people are just exploding. I mean, I have had a matter with Curtis before the court. This one has been shown off. But there are a lot of people who is not as fortunate as I am. I have advised 2 different magistrates as to how they could deal with this matter, because he conveniently uses the court. I mean, sending in sick leave from different doctors. So you cannot say it's one doctor that is facilitating him. he used different doctors to produce the sick leave. And when he's sending a sick leave, you can effectively try the case behind his back. His lawyer is not present. The lawyer would send a excuse why he cannot be there. You cannot, so these things have been happening there for all of those times. And I mean, it just reached to the stage now where the people have had enough. And it's not a situation where something has happened and that's the end of it. The gentleman continue to just go and distress people. I mean, we have had a public thing some months ago. GBN came up and, the police was involved. The Sutter's police, the Samaritan police, they all come together. They had discussion with the villagers of Chantimelle. And we had a way forward in terms of a petition. Unfortunately, it did not get to where it should have been. And as I say, that is what it comes down to, where the people have to literally go there and wanted to tear the man apart. Police had to step in.
Yeah, we're looking at that video right now. I guess that's when it exploded. That's a video courtesy Rachel Bain. She was on the scene and streamed that video live. How long has this been happening in the village, Danley?
Well, with this particular neighbor, I mean, it is an ongoing. This is about 3 years now.
3 years?
An ongoing battle with this lady. Yeah, she cannot live in peace. I mean, almost every single week there is an issue with the gentleman and the neighbor, because he's of the opinion the land is not theirs and all of those foolishness. The people have the papers for the land, and he's just reaping havoc in this. I mean, you have no respect for them, and he just do what he wants. That is basically what it is, The husband, in my view, was taking a sort of, calm approach to the things, but that was not working. That was not working, and we see what eventually happened.
Yeah. When you speak to the community, you are part of the community. When you speak to the people and them, what do they want? What is that they asking? Are they looking for police to deal with the matter? Are they looking for the man to move out? What exactly they asking for? What the community wants?
Well, I mean, I don't think they can ask for you to move out. I mean, one of the things is that, I mean, yes, I think if he behaved himself, I don't think people would bother with him. I mean, that is my view. But based on his actions, people have reached the point now that they want him out of the community. Because it's a constant thing. If you for whatever reason have issues with him, he terrorizes you. And it's not just people he enters the land. If he for whatever reason have an issue, when you're passing, he just terrorizes you, tell you all sort of stuff and all kind of thing. He feel that he's over the law. I mean, basically, So I mean, I wouldn't say I personally want him out of the community. What I would want him to is to behave himself, just to be at peace with the people. And if that cannot happen, yes, you eventually have to leave, because I mean, you cannot have one individual is just stressing out everybody. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I appreciate your take again, guys. We have an interview coming up shortly with Sandra Neckles, who is the wife of Mr. Neckles, who we just found out from breaking news that he was found. And I guess what is kind of tripping me up is this man have been provoking people in the community. I say provoking people in the community for so long, right? In and out of court, nothing could stick. So is he actually doing something that's illegal, or he just doing things that the people just don't like? Is he breaking the law?
Yeah, I mean, Curtis has done a lot of stuff. That man he enters people's place. There was a next neighbor, his next door neighbor again. He go to take off the camera. People had cameras there, cut off the wire and do all sort of thing. He opened the gate. He bring a whole truckload of gravel and put in the people's place. I mean, he's just doing. And you have to ask yourself if he's well psychologically. I mean, because the thing that he's doing would give you the impression that this is a madman that is acting there. You know?
But like that's why again contradictory because people saying that he's a madman. He acts so sporadic and he do all that kind of thing, but you still say he's intelligent, know how to handle the law. So I get a mixed emotion about this guy. Is he a madman or is he a very smart man?
What I'm saying, people would conclude, persons would conclude that his action is of a mad person. I mean, what he's doing. But he's, I mean, I am knowledgeable of the law as well. I can say to you, he has a lot of knowledge because he has been in courts a lot of times. He's always in conflict with the law. Yeah. So he knows what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You know, and he's not even breaking the law when he do that. So that frustrates a lot of people.
That is where, and sorry to cut you, but that's in like the question. He's not breaking the law. He's provoking people, but he's not against the law. Because law is supposed to be black and white. Eh? If he's breaking the law, like say for instance, he come into your property and he cut your line, and you could prove that he come into your property and he cut your line, or he do something that is clearly illegal. He's supposed to be, no matter what situation, he's supposed to be arrested. He's supposed to pay for that.
That has been happening. All of the matters that all of those incidents that I speak to is before the courts. All of them are before the courts. We are just not getting a conclusion to those matters. And, you know, people start asking questions whether, you know, I mean, I don't want to even say that on air.
No, I want to hear the question. I want to understand the question that the community asking. What is saying?
Well, it's like, not that he's in the courts are in course with him,
right?
But maybe there is some other forces that is working that those matters are not being determined. You know, because it's a lot of matters that this guy, because you have evidence, there is a lot of evidence, video evidence of this guy doing wrong things. He will either be charged monetarily or be sent to prison. But those matters are just not concluding before the courts. I am telling you, there have been about 5 different magistrates that have been attending to those matters. The matters left Sates, he went to Guave, he went to Victoria, come back to Sates, and it's like 5 different magistrates have been dealing with those matters, and they have not come to conclusion as yet. Some people are generally fed up, and it's a lot of people, a lot of people, policemen. I mean, just it's a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, you know, I think that the law supposed, as I said, supposed to be black and white. If Curtis is doing something illegal, he should face the fire for it. He should face the brunt of the fire for his action. And if law enforcement is not doing their job, or the courts is not doing their job, something needs to be done to rectify that.
What I said to I made a suggestion to 2 of the magistrates one time that they should somewhat postpone some matters before the court and put Curtis on a bench warrant where you can deal with his matters for about a week or 2 weeks. So he's not in a position where he can send in a sick leave. He's not in a position where the lawyers would say that they cannot come to court because they will be informed that this 2 weeks is designated to deal with matters that is pertaining to him, because he has a lot of matters before the court. And the people who are seeking redress, every time they have to come there, some of them have to lose work, some of them have to, it's a number of challenges. So, I mean, apparently those things are not taken into consideration. And yes, there has been some challenges on the part of the magistrates as well, because when you take it from one magistrate and you put it to another, like when it was moved from Sates, it was a case where, call it conflict of interest, because the sitting magistrate at the time, she's now deceased, was related to the individual. So she wanted to recuse herself from the hearing. So that is why it was sent to Guave. And then when it was sent to Guave, you had that matter being heard every Friday, where the magistrate was coming from quite Grenville. And that too was not satisfactory, because people were like, it was just spinning top in mud. They send it to Victoria under new magistrate. So all of those things have to go over again. And then when they send it back to Surtees, there is a new magistrate in Surtees. So all of those things is, I mean, it's just countless hurdles that has been in the way of these matters. And it reached to this thing, you know what I mean?
We have people saying that this Scottish guy, he does talk with sense, he and mad. People saying that he's a guy who does talk with a high level of intelligence and some kind of science. So he seemed to have some kind of information that everybody else don't have, because he's able to beat the court. He's able to kind of zigzag around the legal system and have his way. Is he a dangerous guy? Is he a menace? Is he a physically dangerous guy?
No, man. He's. I mean, the guy is a coward.
Why you say so?
Because I've seen it. Anytime he's challenged, he goes straight on the inside. Someone who is. I mean, they would stand up. Anytime, one person, two persons, he goes straight on the inside. He goes inside his house, close his house, full stop.
Right, but in this case, he didn't go inside and close. He went inside and closed, and then he came back out, and then he was opening up his car door and he's standing there. So he showed a different side of him on that particular day, on that particular video we watched right now.
And Junior, I will say to you, because of the length of time this gentleman has been doing this thing, he get comfortable, and he know that the people who is talking and they would not react. I mean, in this case where the people exploded there, I don't think he was expecting this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But before, I mean, anytime somebody challenge him, personally challenge him to maybe to do him something, he run go on the inside. If you're talking, then he will be on the outside talking and put up his music and whatever. But if someone is physically challenging him, he will go inside.
Yeah.
That is the person I know.
Okay.
I lived in the area close to him there. I know that. You know? But I think something that is looming, something that people are talking about, is that aspect of the science. Because you cannot kind of reach to the stage to understand why certain things are happening. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he keep calling certain person's name, some police officers, and you know, it's just ridiculous. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's a very intelligent guy. He's a very intelligent guy.
Right. Listen, Danley, I thank you for sharing your insight on this story, opening up a little bit more, and so we try to understand it. We have an exclusive interview coming up with Sandra Neckles, who is the wife of Mr. Neckles. As you guys recall, just a few, and Danley, stand by. As you guys recall, just a couple of days ago, there was a report stating that Mr. Neckles was missing, right? And somehow his missing had something to do with the same neighbor, right? We just wanted to report right before we came on the program, a few minutes before we came on the program, we got reports that Mr. Neckles was found alive, right? We don't have any other information than he was found alive. We don't know what village he was found in. We're going to get that information and we're going to post it. You on the ground, Danley, did you hear anything as it relates to Mr. Neckles and he's been found earlier today?
Yeah, I heard that I the truth is I have a different view to, you know, the word missing. Yeah, I would not say Curtis was missing. When someone is missing, is that you have a different connotation to it. Yes, I would say Curtis was in hiding.
Why?
Bucky.
Why was Bucky in hiding?
I think whatever happened would have because there was a robbery even before that, before he left. And
right.
I've heard from confidence of his that he was threatened, both he, his wife and children. So he was frightened and he went into hiding. But I don't consider that as being missing. So I share a different view on that, because there were certain persons who had conversations with him up until Friday or Saturday, and he was just in hiding. That is my view. I would stick with that. He was in hiding because he didn't want to. Because I think all of what has happened sort of tripped him off a bit.
Right.
And so he was in a safe place, and he didn't want anybody to know where he was. But I feel there were some persons who know where he was, but they didn't want to expose it to the public because they didn't want to further endanger him. Because his position was that they wanted to kill him, so he didn't want anybody to know where he was.
Do you think, Danley, that Curtis has had anything to do with his disappearance or him going into hiding?
No, I don't think so. If you ask me another question in terms of the robbery,
right,
I would want to feel that somehow he has some insight into it, but the hiding or the disappearance, or some people want to term it, no, I don't think so at all.
Right,
based on the information that I have, no.
Right, and we're going to talk about the robbery because I have I keep talking about the interview we have with the wife coming up in a short while. We say a robbery, but when we saw the video, which we're going to show shortly, it doesn't look like a robbery. The guy didn't have any arms. How do you when you look, what lens are you looking at that from to deem it a robbery?
I saw it, and a lot of people share the observation that you are sharing. But now that Bucky is back, there would be some new development that will be shared. That is all I would say. And they will see a different picture. Who know the individual, Bucky, who knows him, maybe would understand what has actually transpired there. But if you don't know him and you're looking at that video, maybe yes, you will come to draw that conclusion.
Okay.
From what I'm hearing,
yes,
it was a robbery, and maybe now that he's out, a lot more light will be shared on what has actually transpired.
All right. Thank you so much, Danley. We appreciate your insight. And anything else you want to leave with?
Well, it's unfortunate, as I said, these things had to happen. But the authorities, the court system has to be more deliberate in the dispensation of justice. We cannot have, I remember, and I don't want to equate it, I don't want to make the parallel, but I have to. I remember during the revolution that the authorities then, they know certain individuals they had certain characters, and what they used to do, they used to take preemptive actions to ensure that the parish, the villages were safe. We are in a democracy, so we cannot advocate certain things like that. But I'm saying, in the absence of that, then the court system has to act effectively to avoid the occurrence of something like that. Because let me tell you something. Because the guy who is the cause of all of that could have died in that process. I'm telling you. I mean, some of the persons that were there, they was ready to actually kill him. And I don't think that the state, I don't think the system should drive people to a point where they want to commit such act. And I would want to admonish and even call on the Minister of Legal Affairs, the Attorney General, that they can do something to deal with this issue and any issue in the future that may have a sort of circumstance like this. They need to do something. Justice have to be swift. Yes, sometimes you have the little delays, but not deliberate like what has been happening. You know?
Right. Okay. Just for information that the Royal Grenada Police Force had a press conference day before yesterday, I believe, and they did not make the correlation between the robbery and the missing. Well, it's found now. They didn't make that correlation. So just
they were right. They were right. I think that is information that they would have had that would have led them to make that statement. I think it's the same kind of information that I have. You know,
right.
Yes, but they really, I would say, I would I mean, I've said it before. I think the police has been doing, I mean, yes, sometimes they make the mistakes, but I think they have done what they had to do. I mean, sometimes when you go to them, Curtis again, you hear that level of frustration, but they have taken the matters before the court, and you have to give them what is due to them. When they falter, you have to pick them up. But in this case, they have been doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, I heard some people talk about the comment that they have to guard the building there at night because people was, I mean, they would have literally do Curtis something. But under the police motto is to protect and serve. I mean, it is different to that, you know, the perpetrator was not actually going in people's place with cutlass and threatening them personally. So you cannot equate that with he going and destroy your property, like certain cutting down your trees and whatever. You know, but the matters, if the matters was handled properly in the court, I don't think it would have reached to that this situation.
Thank you so much again. Thank you so much again, Danley. We appreciate you and your insight on this matter. We're gonna keep in touch, all right, my brother?
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks again.
Good.
Guys, we have an exclusive interview coming up with the wife of Mr. Neckles, Sandra. She spoke to us earlier and shared some insights, some things that I probably never heard either as it relates to this case. Let's take a quick break, come up for air, and play back that interview with the Sandra Neckles. Also, guys, I got to tell you again that I might be saying that he was lost or he was not found, but that interview was recorded a few minutes ago. That was before the news broke of Mr. Neckles. All right, so Mr. Neckles has been found. They've been found alive. We did not get a chance to speak to him and the updates. So just keep in mind that the interview that I'm about to play with Miss Neckles would talk about him in the past tense as if he was not found. All right, stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Come on, this is your opportunity to tap into the $7.3 trillion industry in this COVID time. Get interactive, hands-on in the Forex and crypto market. Educate yourself in this financial industry. All of this is possible right now with a multi-source income generator. This program will allow you to learn while you earn in this lucrative decentralized industry. Take advantage of this trading academy, personal development, create multi-source stream income, trading ideas in this global market, get discount travel with your own portal, bonus token backed by bitcoins, and so much more. For more information, contact Christine Alexis at 347-834-2852 or Marisha Dash at 646-529-6570. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity of a lifetime. Call now.
There have been so much said about what happened and what is currently happening in Chantimelle. We got so many correspondence from our viewers, and we decided to get the facts about it. There's so much moving parts, and so much it sometimes gets a little bit complicated to understand. So we make a connection. We made a connection, and we have on the line right now the wife of the missing Mr. Neckles. Her name is Sandra Neckles, and she's here joining us to give us some information and explanation as to what's happening. Sandra, sorry we had to meet under these conditions, but I'm still happy that we could play a role in trying to understand and also trying to help find your missing husband. We've seen a video, right, circulating on social media where a gentleman seemed to be in a shop or whatever trying to, well, we're not hearing the audio, but he's forcing someone, and then after someone gave him some money. Explain that video to us before we start to talk about the situation that transpired just a couple of days ago in Chantimelle. So tell us about the video.
Okay, well, I must start it by telling you this came about a few days when my two sons and I, we went to the garden. We said, well, we want to burn a little coal, so we have some woods and things down there cut up and everything, so we weren't prepared to burn it and stuff like that. And when we finished, we came up, and those children now, they forget the cutlass. So I told them to go back down for it, but the cutlass wasn't there. And when I went back down, no, I can't find the cutlass, so I didn't bother again. So we come up home, we get late, we went and sleep the next morning. When I look out the window, I look over to the neighbor place. I saw these two big pieces of wood there. So I tell my husband, I said, that two pieces of wood belong to us. That's ours. So I went and I changed my clothes fast, and I went back down in the garden and it was missing. So I came back up with all his speed and I went over to his place and I said, I want my two pieces of wood. That is mine and I want it. I come in your yard and I want it. And my husband joined me with another friend and we took the piece of wood and we went out. And my husband flashed a cutlass behind him, right? The cutlass fell on the ground, but he said my husband, he got cut in his waist and he won compensation. So that is where the thing started, right? And the next day, no, that is when the guy maybe come over, but during that time I was on work. So I wasn't there. So when he came over and when I came back, and I came from work and I trying to put on my bag, my husband told me, no, don't put on your bag. Go up inside because some men, they come to kill us. So go upstairs. I will tell you what happened. So then my husband started telling me what happened. He said, a guy come around the counter and they saying, pass the money. So I said, well, we had to call the police. And then I told him, I said, well, we have to look over the tape because I want to really see, well, what take place because he tell me I was at a guy's, but then when we actually look over the tape, I only see one guy and he passing money to the guy. So then I said, what's going on? But you can't hear what's saying and whatever. And before that, when I speaking to my husband, he said they want to kill us, so he had to pay the compensation because what happened with the guy next door, so he pay out all the money from the shop and all those things. And first time I see my husband in this kind of manner, behaving in this kind of way, he's like, like he lost it. He's so frightened. And then the Friday now when I gone to work, he called me and telling me not to come home. You have a lot of men there, they want to kill us. So don't come home. Go by a friend of his, but me, I doesn't really go in people's place, so I still come up. Then he come back and he called me again. He tell me he by his sister, and well, I didn't come from work as yet, So he still come back again and he called me again. And he tell me, he say, when you're coming up, don't come home. Drop out in a place they call Samaritan, but that time no, he was by his co-worker. Right? So he told me, don't come up, stop when I reach in Samaritan, drop out and come up there because that's where he is with them two children. But I did not stop out. I came up home. So when I reached almost to home now, I called my son on his phone and my son answered the phone and he said, Mommy, we in Fontaine by the same co-worker. I said, well, where is your father? Where is your father? He said, Daddy gone. Daddy make us go inside a room and tell us stay there because the man and them, some of them, they come quite up there to kill them. So they didn't see when the father left. Because the father my husband asked for a bottle of water and a Bible. Right? And he gone. Those people around, they didn't even see when he left as well. So that's what really went on. And all now we're searching today, but today going to make 6 days. We're searching and nothing yet, because I even went to the police and such as well. We go up all the different mountains, all the different hills, pass by the rivers, all them different places, and we're looking. We split up in 3 groups, and we keep looking, and nothing. And then this small one, which is Ziwandi, he find an album, looking into the album, and he look at the pictures of his father, and he say, Mommy, look, watch it now. So I watch it, and then the child just break down and just start crying and crying and crying. This morning he get up, he say, Mommy, where Daddy? I want to see Daddy, Days no, I can't see Daddy. I say, boy, I don't know where Daddy go. We'll go and look for him. We can't find him, and he just keep crying. But, the big one is there, he not saying anything as yet. I don't know. He have a little friends and them in school. They're always talking to him online, and, so I guess they kind of bracing him up, singing him up. Right. A lot of people visiting me, people I never see before. And right now, you have a lot of people downstairs,
Yes,
different walks of life, friends, all kind of vehicles stopping and
yes.
coming and talk to
You get
me
a lot
and
of
telling
support.
me,
You're getting a lot
yeah,
of support.
you
Well, let me ask you
know,
a question. Let me ask
keep
you a question.
strong.
Let me ask you a question, Sandra. One,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever seen your husband get to that point before where scared, frightened, just not knowing what happened?
No,
Have you ever been that way
no,
before?
no, no. First time in my life. All the years we've been together, that's the first time. That's the first time. And the guy over there is the cause of it. Because sometime last year we had an interview with GBN and another station, and we telling the people what going on, but the police force, the whatever, the court, they're not taking heed because this thing shouldn't reach that far. The man claiming we land, he claiming we everything the man claiming. I don't know what happened to this man. And we keep telling them to hold the man and check him out to see if he's mental or whatever. They're saying they can't do it. They have to get the mother consent. A big man. The mother don't even want to see him because the mother put him in court as well.
Right.
She don't want to see him.
Besides the person saying or your husband saying that the guy have something to do with it, what other evidence do you have to prove that the next door neighbor have anything to do with the disappearance of your husband?
Well, he walking around in the yard and he keep talking. I tell those guys and them not to come and ask my husband for money and some kind of thing. So he going wrong and he talking, and he talking thing all about. Yeah, that's why he keep talking and say. But right now they gone with him.
They
I
gone with
think he maybe have a they gone with the guy Cutty Cyrus. He have a court hearing today. They pick him up
okay, okay. All right.
because he been doing things to other people as well.
Right, right. But besides what he's saying, and besides that, your husband said that he has some relations with it. You don't have no other hardcore evidence to prove that he actually was involved in the disappearance of your husband.
The only thing I could say is that those guys is a whole group of them. They always coming by this Curtis, the Curtis Cyrus, right? I don't know
Have you seen
what
the
tribes.
guy in the video? Have you seen him in the neighborhood before?
You mean the other guy that came in the
The guy,
shop?
the guy that was in the video, the guy that was forcing you or talking to your husband in the video. Have
Yes,
you remember
yes,
him?
I know him. I know him. I know him. I know his sister, and I know his father. His father is very good to me. His father does drive a bus. I know him, and he does do sales. I used to buy stuff from him before. I know
And he,
him.
and he's also good friends with the neighbor next door.
Yes, he and a lot of other guys, and he does be talking to my husband as well. Because if you look at the video, you see like how they're talking and hands moving in the air and think, I don't know what he was talking about. But then
Did,
you see my husband dishing out the money for him. He give him a certain amount, then he come back and he give him some money again. Then the guy is stretching his hand and he taking money again. So I don't know because my cameras and them don't have the video audio thing into it to get a voice. Yeah.
right, right, right. So that brings us up to what transpired just a few days ago, right?
Mhm.
Where you and the whole neighborhood got very frustrated. It seemed
Yes,
like
we
more
are.
people was there taunting, and the guy was breaking bottles and all that stuff. What happened there?
Yes, well, it's the same thing. Well, you see now we cannot get justice. And he's so comfortable in his where he's living, and he just doing all sorts of things because he cut all my camera lines. I had to pay a whole set of money to put them back. He spray up all my son plants. My son plant a lovely piece of cucumber. He mash up everything, spray them. I have plants in the land, other trees, he cut them down. The man walking the land like if it's his. And I don't know what happened to the lawyers and them that representing him. They don't even ask, I don't know if they're asking him for like, where is your land paper? Where is your deed? Where is your plan? What and what and what? I don't know, but they keep representing him. I don't know what documents he's showing them. And it's not only me. I on one side, he has some English people on the other side, and he mashing up all the thing. He cut the cable lines. They pay for cable. Up to now, they can't get the cable. When they come to put it, he's saying the place is in the courthouse. Thing in the courthouse, they can't put it. So other things inside of we in Chantimelle building up, and it's starting to explode now. We cannot take it no more. We just cannot take it anymore. Especially me, I'm boiling hot, and I start to spill over already. And this thing it ain't finished yet, you know. This thing ain't finished yet. It just begin. They have to move this guy from there, and where he living there is not his. There is not his. The father died, and the father make a will. There is for the sister, and his place supposed to be lower down St. Max. That's where he have to go, but he still cannot go down there because he trouble all those guys down there until they burn his house. A lot of things is going on, you know. That people don't know. A lot of things is going on, and people is burning inside. So some of them things and them coming out now, and they're showing up now. They have to take out this guy. As long as this guy there, we won't have no rest. We won't have no peace, and he have a lot of matters in court, and they're making seesaw with it. You're swinging left, right, and center. Sortes, St. Max, go out, and from there and back and up, and I can't take it again, you know. I cannot take it again. When I tell you I can't take it again, I can't take it again. I'm fed up now. I'm fed up, and I keep telling them that. I keep telling them, but they're not hearing. They're not listening to me, and something worse going to happen. They're not hearing.
Wow.
It's time they look into this thing. It is serious because the village gets involved now. They get involved because some of the villagers have burning issues with him. He has some big dogs. The dogs on him eating all them people sheep, eating all them people goats. And I take me twice and I see his dog biting a goat on his leg, blood coming out and the goat bawling, and the guy don't get no compensation for it. No compensation. So it's not a simple thing. It's an ongoing something. And you, as a gentleman, you alone have 101 matter in the court. None can come to a conclusion. Just the other day now, I hear they say he have about 33. So I don't know what they do with the rest. I don't know what they do with the rest. And new summons going out. New summons going out. More people putting him in court. So what is? I don't know what kind of person is that. They need to check out this guy.
What happened what happened when you report the incidents to the police? Doesn't the police come?
The police come in. They're taking your statement. They're writing up everything. Everything they're doing their work. Then police doing their work. They're writing up everything. They said when the thing reach to the court, that is the problem. The court system here no good at all. The first magistrate, she dead now. She related to him. When you come to court, everybody come to court. They dress, everybody come to court, expecting for the court, for you to get a hearing, for you to get a conclusion to your matter. Nothing so. She pong in the desk and she giving you another date. Everybody going out and cussing and strupsing and all kind of thing. And when she tired do you that, she just take the matter and she send it in Victoria. You go to Victoria, they take it again, they send it in Guap. And that's what they're doing all the time. The court system is a problem in Grenada. They're no good. And some of the lawyers too. Because they know the man don't have no land and they're representing him. What are they doing that for? If they didn't take up the thing serious, now some of my husband would have been right here with me. They wait when the thing explode and gone far now. So they're making 6 days now and I can't see my husband. But that are going on, so you know. I hope they're listening, you know. I hope they're listening because right now I'm hot and I'm boiling, you know. It's just to explode again like the other day, you know. Because I sure you see the picture where I start chopping down the trees and them, you know. He planting all them things on them in my land. I don't want them planting my land. I didn't ask him to plant nothing in my land. He taking over people's property, just coming in it. Just coming in it. Up to now, I'm paying bank. I don't finish pay the bank yet. All this thing making me get mad. It's time for them to hold him and sort him out. He's doing too much.
Mr. Cuz, I'm sorry, and I could see this is very upsetting. And
of course it is. It is.
Okay. I really hope that the courts, the authorities are
listening. Yeah, the court do good. They do good. The court do good. Get people who could sort out the matters. Get people from overseas to come and sort out the matters. And the new magistrate were there. They say she knew she had to take time to go through this and go through that and go through this. And it's the same thing again. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And the guy know the code system so good. He killing it with sick leave. Every time he's a sick leave. Sick leave now. Sick leave then. Sick leave today. Tomorrow. Every day he's sick leave. And when he's not sick leave, when you come chip on in the counter and say put it for next, how much money's down line again. So you're getting more frustrated again. And when he bring up somebody, the matter calling, no. Sometimes the same day you go in the court, the matter calling. Because he bring up somebody, the matter calling no. This is unfair. This is no justice. No justice. Because the guy that he bring up, the guy is a cool guy. The magistrate give him 3 months ban. 3 months ban. 3 months ban for what? You come in and take a big load of gravels and put in people place and say it's yours. Oh, how you could do that? You cut all of them camera line down. They put camera thing and you have to tell people, well, you put up cameras, so you put up all the pictures and thing now, telling them, well, you want camera in your place. He take a thing and he spray all them people gate. They just spend how much $1,000 on the gate and it's much. I chat with this guy, that guy can't stay around there. He can't stay in the house there again, you know. They have to move him and you have to go somewhere else, you know. You go hear more news. Stay tight, you go hear more news. Hold on.
I hope the authorities really listening, because we would hate for something.
I hope so, do you know? I hope so. Because they're only dragging their feet. They don't feeling what I'm feeling. They don't know how I'm feeling. They don't know how I'm feeling. And I've been going through that. You think it's now I'm going in court, sir? You think it's now? I get fed up. Look at how much days now I can't go to work. And my work is different from other people's work. If I ain't go to work, I can't get paid. It's on commission, I does work. So you know how much days I miss out already? No money for me, no pay for me. And when the month and I have to pay the bank almost $2,000 a month for me place, me and my husband. And so this thing burning me, it burning me, you know. Because I know I'm looking for a gun, I want a gun.
Oh no, God.
I want a gun. It's overbearing. It's too much. I can't take it again. The other day, I fall on a bus in tears. I crying. I'm tired. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it again.
Okay. Sorry, Miss Neckles.
Take it. I can't take it.
Guys, this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed, and I hope that the authorities are watching and paying attention, because this thing is bubbling.
He's doing too much. He's doing too much, and all what he's doing right. I can't take it. I can't take it again.
All right. And that's where the interview ended earlier today with myself and Miss Neckles. I'm going to open up the phone line, guys. 718-701-5720. I want your input on this. This is the number that you call, 718-701-5720. Let's take a break, and then we open up the phone lines. All right? We'll be right back. All right, caller, you live?
Hi, Junior. Good evening.
Good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little bit frustrating, but I'm living in New York. I am from Grandin in St. George's. I used to be a vendor in the market, and I can give you a history of Curtis. I personally beat Curtis in the market, and I had another man beat him. And let me tell you why. Curtis used to sell sandals by the sidewalk. And if you go at Curtis' table and you watch her sandals and you didn't buy it, Curtis would tell you how your mother make you upside down. One day I was selling in the market and Curtis said to me, I had 3 girl children, 2 used to go to convent and 1 going to high school. And he said to me what them conductors used to do to my girl children. And the guy stood up there and the guy heard him. And the guy bleed him because he's very disrespectful. He aggravates listen, I know the gentleman so well, eh? I came here in 2010. Prior to this, I sell for 15 years in the market weekly. He's a very, very disrespectful man. Very.
Okay. All right, caller. Thanks for calling in and giving your first-hand information on the man, Curtis. All right. Thank you, caller.
Okay, bye. Mm-hmm, bye-bye.
Right. 718-701-5720. Apologize for the break in transmission a little bit earlier. Want to get your perspective on this, guys. What you guys think? And I want to hear from the people who are probably folks from Chantimelle, people in that general area, and what has been transpiring. What first-hand knowledge that you have about what's happening there? Because here's the worst thing. Here's what we don't want, right? And Miss Neckles kind of said it there, and I hope we don't have to see it. It seems as if the neighborhood and the neighbors and the people looking to take matters in their own hand, and that's not where we want to see this go. So justice have to prevail as soon as possible. Caller, you live. Where you calling us from? Hello.
Hello,
Yeah. Hi, caller. Where you calling us from?
Grenada.
Go ahead, caller.
Junior,
Yes.
this is a support call for Sandra and Bucky.
Yes.
And there is a lot of concern about what Curtis is doing.
Yes.
I myself have an issue with Curtis because my aunt have some land right next door to Bucky on the other side of the road.
Right.
And Curtis went into that land, cut down some cocoa tree, cut down fig tree, and plant whatever he wanted, things like golden apple, coconut trees, and etc. I went up there and I cut down everything that he planted. He came there, he cursed, I called the police. The police told me to give a statement, go to a lawyer and get some documents sorted out. I went, I did all that. They told me to get a valuation, I did that. The police said they had to get that information in order to take Curtis to court for them to arrest him, to take him to court. When I called back Samaritan Police, after I do every single thing, I spoke to Officer Callis, and Officer Callis said to me that they do not have to arrest Curtis in order to take him to court.
Right.
I myself is a bit confused about what is happening. I spoke to Officer Cohen about the whole situation also. He told me he will look into it and he would call me back. Up till now, nobody hasn't called. I have picture of Curtis being in my aunt's land behind the fence. Nothing hasn't happened up till now. So I just don't understand, just as Sandra and Bucky. Last week Sunday I was up there, as I live in St. George's, and Bucky grew up together. I never knew Bucky to be a person that is trouble people.
Right.
And Curtis is just too disrespectful. I know Curtis from Davie. I used to live in Prospect. I'm from Prospect. I know Curtis being in town. He used to be in the market. Them guys and them had to they chase him out. He used to be selling slippers on a cart right next to Nikki's shoe store there. And Curtis is very, very disrespectful. I cannot see how one person could be doing all those things and getting away with it. So, like he said, he's in the lodge, so they cannot do him anything.
Well, so that's what it is.
Please, I am asking the police, the commissioner, to please step in and do something. Because I think the best solution for Curtis now is death.
Not well. We don't want to. Hold on. We don't want to promote that. Of course, I don't want to.
But one person, we don't want to promote everybody's life miserable. That's not fair.
Yes, I
and
understand.
then when he do his thing, he making sure he stay, because when we went up there and we cut down the plant, he came in the road, my cousins and them were there, and he made all his comments. He planned to come down where I'm leaving and throw banga net and do whatever. I am begging the commissioner of police to please do something. And Curtis need to leave this family alone. When you pass there, Sandra and Bucky is always minding their business. Curtis interfering with everybody in Chantimelle. My auntie used to be so scared of Curtis because when he's ready, he go and spray the lady land. He digging trench, all kind of thing Curtis doing. Come on, it's too much.
Yes, yes. All
But
right,
anyhow, thank you for letting people know what is happening.
Yes.
And continue your good work.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Appreciate you. We're going to take 2 more calls live. The number again, 718-701-5720. Guys sitting here and I wonder, right? How can one person have so much, do so much in the community, and everybody, all the neighbors seem to have something negative to say about this man? I don't know him and I don't know his story. I would like to get his story, and I hope he will come and talk to us on the program. Why does everybody have something negative to say about him? And it just seems like anything is going forward in court. Caller, you like, where are you calling us from? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Listen to me on the phone and turn your device down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that, sir. Sorry, sir. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm not from Chantimelle, but I traverse Chantimelle a lot.
Right.
In my younger. This is not Chantimelle.
Okay.
In Chantimelle days, right? In Chantimelle days, this guy would have been history a long time ago. Okay, because Chantimelle, the men of Chantimelle back in the day, as well as the women, because the women, for instance, Chantimelle, my association with Chantimelle was country cricket, what we call country cricket.
Right.
And that was one of the few places that I was not allowed to go to on a regular basis.
Right.
When I got much older, is when my grandmother would allow me to go to Chantimelle. I mean, when I then was old enough to go by myself, and I would go to Chantimelle to watch cricket. This guy here seems to have the protection of the police as well as the protection of the courts. How he has been set up, I don't know, but it seems that way. Because one man, like the woman said, one man causing all of this destruction and creating all of this havoc and have the village out there like this. I got this visual coming from a friend of mine in England who happened to have property in the Chantimelle area, and that was a couple of days ago when I got there and footage. And at first I was kind of confused. And I called a few people to find out exactly what's going on with this guy. And it just seemed, when I listened to the police conference yesterday, and the police and how they're responding in a very cagey, protective, like they're protecting him as opposed to the people who have been victimized.
Yeah, and that's the sense that I get in, John Crow. I get in the sense that somehow something or someone is protecting this guy. And
they're scared of him, or he has a secret on them. I don't know.
One of the two or three. But
one of the things that I know, though, back in the day, Junior, this guy would be history.
Wow. We don't want to promote the violence. We don't want to promote the violence, John Crow. But yeah, no,
I'm not promoting the violence.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the history of Chantimelle is a place. The people of Chantimelle don't stand for nonsense.
Right.
Okay, and there are certain villages in Grenada where you don't go into that village and call it play the fool, because you don't get something. You will get a dose or something that will straighten you out.
Listen, we got a German next call, but thanks for your input, Janko, as always. We got to take some more calls here. And Janko, I have a program for you next week. I'll call you. I want you to come on. We have something to talk about. All right? We'll chat.
All right.
Thanks. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Hey, Claudia. I'm sorry. Hey, Junior. I'm from Chantimelle, but I'm living in New York.
Right.
And some perspective on this is that people saying that it's been just like the last 3 years, and it has been longer than 3 years. I have been living in New York 11 years.
Right.
And even before moving to New York, this guy. Okay, his dad was from Chantimelle. His dad owned a house opposite Sandra and Bucky. Well, they're neighbors. He moved to Chantimelle as a young man, getting in trouble in St. George's and doing this, in fights. He was a troubled young man,
Right.
And he apparently brought his trouble with him in Chantimelle. I remember a couple of years, even before this happened, he chopped a young man from Chantimelle, and the young man, didn't want to go to court. They settled this. But he's been terrorizing the people of Chantimelle for a long time. Maybe it have just escalated over the last few years, but I mean, he has been terrorizing, and that's the exact term. He has been terrorizing the people of Chantimelle. Chantimelle used to have a reputation of, bad Johns, and people are asking, where are those people? Chantimelle people have not gotten coward. What I'm saying, Chantimelle people have gotten peaceful. But being from Chantimelle, I'm telling you right now, the undertone is that people, even some of the young men, some of the young people, have this. This is like the straw that broke the camel's back. And if the authorities, the people haven't weakened the authorities, been begging the authorities. This gentleman has been, and not just in Chantimelle. He thinks all the land in the neighborhood. I'm talking about acres of land, hundreds of acres of land, all around the property that his dad had belonged to somehow magically belongs to his dad.
Yes.
So he literally goes into people's land when they plant neighboring lands, and he sprays it with gramazone. Just kill all the crops. He cuts the plants down.
I heard that, and he keep provoking the whole neighborhood. But listen, we have about 10 calls that I really want to take, right, Caller? But I appreciate your input, and thanks for calling, okay?
Before I go to though, I just want to say, please, I just hope the authorities step in, that the people of Chantimelle do not have to take this in their hands, because people been saying, when you hear people talking about Hambone and those old guys, people been saying like they don't want those spirits to rise up in Chantimelle again. Please, authorities, do something ASAP.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. I appreciate you. Yes. Guys, the calls are coming in. I can't just cut somebody off, right? So I know there's a lot of people that's calling, and I'm trying to get that call. Someone said that you take a call from Josh. I don't know Josh's number, so I just picking calls as it comes in. Let me try this call right now. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, I thought this was a live program.
Yeah, it is live. You're live.
Oh, okay. Well, I would like to get on to the program, please.
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, make your input. We have to cut it short, though.
Yes. I'm from Chantimelle, and I used to live in the area close to where Curtis is living, and I had some problems with him as well. I remember that when I newly went there, he wanted me to work with him, and he told me when I pick up the nutmeg, every pound that I sell, I will get $1.
Right.
When I went to him now for the money, it wasn't so. It was way lower than what I actually got.
Right. Oh.
And I was looking after some lands on the other side. He asked me if it's to spray it. Well, I told him the owners don't like chemicals, and I myself, I'm not a fan of chemicals.
Right.
This boy started to get on with me. He spread it two sides of the road, and the road come right down, so nobody can tie the animals there.
Ooh.
And when I left, my sister was in the house, and this girl didn't have no rest with this boy. All kind of thing he telling her how she cut. He don't know the girl mother. All kind of thing he telling her. This boy is very, very disrespectful, and I know Sandra and Bucky there. Bucky is a man who don't interfere with nobody.
Right.
Bucky's a very friendly guy in the community, getting along good with everybody. And I used to see some of the things that Curtis used to be doing. Curtis coming and talking to the child of the Bucky and Sandra, and causing the little boy to disrespect his mother and telling him things, And if I was in the position and I didn't have my right, this is things to just get people crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And I myself am feeling it for them because I know what I used to go through under him and my sister.
Yes.
And then to see this thing, this is really, really, really disheartening.
And it's upsetting for the whole community. Thank you, caller. Thanks for your input.
Very much upsetting. You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Caller, we're going to take one more call. I have a call. Okay, Josh. I'm going to take Josh's call. Let me call back Josh. We're taking one more call after this one. And then we are going to shut it off. We're over time already. And then, okay, I think we have Josh on the line. Josh.
Hello, good night.
I didn't purposely cut you off, and I wasn't purposely ignoring your call either. Just a lot of calls
I
was coming in,
realize. I
right?
realize.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
input you have on the topic, Josh?
yeah, well, I'm the neighbor next side by Curtis Cyrus, Sandra, Curtis Cyrus, and then I'm the next. Curtis is a very mischief guy, right?
Right.
I used to drive bus. Every morning I get up, I walk on the bus. You have a pipe behind the house.
Uh-huh.
So when I go to work now, I reach home in the night. When I reach home in the night, the pipe running. So whole day the pipe running. And that happened for quite a while. Right? When I get the bill high.
Right.
So I decided to put cameras on the place. When I put the cameras now, I saw Curtis opening the pipe, leaving the pipe run whole day and damaging other property around other things around the house. Going in the back, spraying up all the fig in the back of the house. You can't eat nothing there because he's spraying everything. Right? So I bring the video evidence for the police. But that is going on 2 years now. No court, nothing to come out of that. Not a thing. So we decided to fence the place. The police tell us get a surveyor and survey the place over. We did that, the boundary up, put in fence. The morning we wake up, all the fence smashed down.
And you have evidence, and you know you have evidence that he did it?
Junior, we have all the evidence. All the evidence. So that happen. We bring the evidence to the police, nothing come out of it. Put up the fence again. Next morning again, he marched down the fence. Put up a wall. He pay somebody to dig from the other side of his land for the wall to fall down. He marched down the wall. He go all below the house, all under the house is a 2-story. So he go on the downstairs part, spray up the house, break open downstairs, wet up the bed, wet up everything that is downstairs. He just going around and just damaging things around the house. All the cameras, we put up cameras, he cut the wires, he damaged the camera. I sent some more cameras, put up, he damaged them again.
Where the ass is that?
He cut the cable line for the internet. He see the wire pass over the line. The wire don't pass over the line. He cut everything. Right now, them guys go back to put the internet, and he was cursing and getting on. So them guys say unless that door is off, they can't put the internet. And well, my family did in the house now, and no internet, nothing. So he just giving trouble all along. Anyway,
so let me ask you a question, Josh. Why do you think, from your personal assessment of the thing, why you think the police or the court is not taking on this matter and letting the man deal with the situation, or dealing with the situation like how we're supposed to?
Personally, every time Curtis say, as long as Officer Langain in charge, they can't touch him.
Who is Officer Langain? Because I want to make a call to Officer Langain.
There is a man in charge of the Western Division.
Officer Langain.
I always mention that. Yeah.
Officer Langain. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing about it, Junior, going in court, we bring in with land papers. Well, we have our land papers. When they ask Curtis for his land papers, he can't present it. So they're giving him time now to bring his land papers. And when court come again, he send a sick leave. So that just prolonging. He's just going over and over and over. So the person that have the land papers for where Curtis is a woman in Moncraven.
Right.
I went to see her. I talked to her. She said anytime the court comes, she's going to bring the papers in the court and we're going to resolve the matter. I come, they put up the case again. Every time they just put up the case. So I don't know what happening. So all the things he damaged on our house, we don't get no compensation for it up to now. It's going on years now.
Wow. Well, I guess we have to ask some questions. I guess we have to ask some serious questions. Why authority and
some of them police, they're saying they wasn't aware of the situation. They know what was going on so long. And that is not months. That is not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. It's been going on more than 10 years now.
Wow.
Who around it, they could tell you. A lot of people don't know, but Curtis is a very mischievous guy.
Well, we have a lot of questions to ask. You know, I ain't gonna stop until I get to the bottom of this. I ain't gonna stop until I get to the bottom of this. Trust me, because I want to understand how a man have so much. He's the mayor, he's the governor, he's the president.
Well, it seems so. And I witnessed when his father was alive. I also witnessed he beating his father.
Oh Lord.
In the veranda. I also witnessed he beating his father.
All right. Well, listen, that's another story right there by itself. But right now we want to deal with why the man have so much power and who is protecting him and why they're protecting him. But Josh, thank you so much for your input. I have to cut it off right here. We a little bit over time, but I ain't go keep this matter. I ain't go muzzle this matter. I'll follow up on it. Thanks again, Josh. I appreciate you, guys. Lord, I have to take one more call, guys. I'm sorry. And then I have to go. But listen, we're not gonna let this matter fall through the cracks. I promise you that. We will keep following up on this matter. And the next question I want to ask is, who are the people who exactly? Because that's what it is, you know. You have to follow the trail. You have to follow the trail. Who? I got some pictures. Somebody send me some pictures. Yeah. The question is, who is protecting Curtis? And people have hard evidence, you know. From what I'm hearing, people have hard evidence, you know. So why is one person allowed to do things like that and continue to do this, terrorize the whole neighborhood? I'm interested to find the answers to these questions. So we'll keep following up, guys. Trust me, we're not going to let this fall to the crack. The next call we're going to make is to the officer for that division and try to find out why is it that he's allowed to do all these things without nothing being done to him. He have not been people who are now dead because of him. They were not compensated. Take this last call. Caller, where are you calling us from? Your final caller for tonight. Go ahead, caller.
I'm calling from New York, right?
Yes.
I used to be a police officer working in Samaritan.
Interesting.
Right?
Yes.
And I hear people saying that it kind of hurts to hear people say that the police is not doing anything.
Right.
You know, and that is not true. People will come to the station and make reports, and you, as a police officer, will go there, do your investigation, you make your files, and you send it before the court.
Right.
Right? When it gets to the court, it is out of our hands. No.
I understand that.
And then you have lawyers out there who is taking Curtis matter. You have lawyers out there who are taking Curtis matter.
But what are the charges? What are the charges that you guys writing? What are the charges you guys writing for all these things?
Whatever the offense constitutes, whatever the person would have reported, and whatever offense constitute to you write your case based on that. You know what I mean? Different people would come and complain about different things after your investigation.
Right.
You place the charge based on that. But the thing about Curtis is, what Curtis does, and people saying, oh, you hear he call Mr. Langai name. Curtis, for instance, would know, hear about no Mr. Langai is the offense charge.
Right.
He would tell people that and give people the impression that he and police, high-ranking police officers are good friends. That's what he does. Curtis is a very cunning guy. And he knows, listen, you hear people say he sounds very educated. He's street smart. Because he's been remanded many times. He was on remand many times. Because he was remanded on several occasions. But then his lawyers go into the court, they go into the high court and request bail for him, and they get him out.
Who are some of his lawyers?
Curtis has so much of different lawyers back in the time, Junior. And he's hard to keep up. Sometimes when you go to the court, he fired his lawyer. So he want time now for the other lawyers to get acquainted with the matter. And that's what he does. But what I'm saying is the court system must realize what is going on and put a stop to it.
Right.
You understand? But you as the police officer, you're frustrated, but what can you do?
That's right. No, I'm not blaming. Listen, for all intents and purposes, I'm not blaming the police officers. I think that the police officers are doing their job, right? But there is a problem.
If they doing their jobs, then the matter would not have been in the court.
Right. So where is the bottleneck is with the court? Why does he have that handle? From your vantage point, Why does he have such a leverage on the court? What? Who?
Personally, I believe to be that person. That's just my personal opinion. I think Curtis' hand is dirty.
What I mean, hand is dirty. What I mean is hand is dirty.
When I say hand is dirty, I mean some high science taking place that is tying up the matter. Because you can't tell me one person going in the court so many times and the matters go calling. That can happen. But when it's his matters, the matters is coming to a conclusion. I personally believe it's some high science taking place here.
High science.
That's my personal opinion, and it don't have to be right, but it has to be something more than. I believe two Curtis have a mental problem. That can never be normal. That's not normal behavior.
But that doesn't sound like a mental problem. That man sound like if he's smarter than the average bear. That man seems like if he's cooking on all cylinders, he's smarter than outsmarting the. If they call him mad, then the people under him real mad because he outsmarting everybody.
Mental problem at different levels. That's the next thing. They should send. I never see no magistrate or so ever send Curtis to get a mental evaluation. Nobody ever did that. Who knows if Curtis have a mental problem? Because I can't see how you could be going all different people's property and claiming their land, and that's not a mental problem.
Listen.
That has to be some level of mental problem.
Listen.
You have to get that evaluated. That should be part.
Listen.
That should be.
I don't agree. I don't agree, and that's just my opinion based on what I hear. Right. I don't agree Curtis have a mental problem. I think Curtis is very smart and he have a lot of people in high places. That's what it is. He have people in high places.
I'm not saying no.
That's what it is.
But the thing is when they say, oh, the police, but I personally could tell you, Curtis uses police name to get off. So he and the neighbor have a problem, he will call Mr. Langa name. I know of many other officers who used to work on the western side before whose name he used before. And when you go, the officer have nothing to do with Curtis.
Right.
But that's how Curtis gets off, and he gets off on the people. But so you know as the person hearing that, and you feel it's true.
Right.
But the police have nothing to do with that.
Right.
Because then the matters would not have been going to court.
Yeah, I understand. But we need to follow the trail. I say follow the trail. All right?
What they need to do, the court need to set a couple of, maybe a week or two, and have all Curtis matters before the court.
Right.
And have that 2 weeks just for Curtis alone and get these matters and him out. If the police is frustrated with Curtis too, you think it's easy every time you have to go and you have one set of, every time you get a report is about the same person. Oh, it is frustrating, but as the police, you still have to do your job and you still have to go.
Yeah. Thank you, caller. We appreciate you. We appreciate your perspective from being a former police officer. Thank you so much.
Yes, and my heart goes out to the union police officer, and I know they're working hard, and I know they're fed up with Curtis. But my heart also goes out to Chantimelle people. Please don't give up. Don't give up, and don't let Curtis cause them to lose their sanity. Please don't.
Yeah.
Justice will come, and evil could never prevail over good. They have to keep praying. That's it. Curtis know what he's doing. Trust me, he know what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay, caller. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right.
All right, guys. This is where we wrap up the show for tonight. We thank you guys for participating. Guys, don't follow this, We're following this. No, we're following this. Trust me. This is not the last time you're going to hear about this case, this matter right here. I'm following this all the way up. Because there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, right? I do believe that the police officers are doing their jobs. I firmly believe that the police officers are doing what they're supposed to do. But there is a bottleneck some way. And Curtis is not a madman. From what I'm hearing, Curtis is not a madman. Curtis is a smart man. Because a madman could never get away with them kind of thing on them day. Right? The man is a smart man that know that he has to have friends in high places if he wants things to happen. Otherwise, Curtis would have been locked up in a jail somewhere already. Or sent into the pink house somewhere already. You think they're afraid to do that to madman? They're locking him up, or they're sending him and giving him some injection some way. How he is able to evade all of these things, and he's not a madman, he's a smart man, and that's what he's doing. He's outsmarting the system and provoking everybody in Chantimelle. Now my prayer is that nothing terrible comes out, because the people are them boiling, the people are them in Chantimelle that have been texting me and emailing me, they are furious, they are mad, they are bubbling. And I would hate to see what happened. And I don't want to promote violence. I don't believe in that type of justice, vigilante justice, jungle justice. I don't believe in anything on them. So justice have to prevail. Otherwise, somebody will have a lot of on their hands. We need to know where the bottleneck is. We need to know where the bottleneck is. And we go find out. We'll keep the story alive. We'll keep talking about it. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Sorry for the late start. Thanks. Don't forget, guys, if you have a story to tell, have a story to share, inbox Ridealong Live. Also, like the page, become a supporter. That's how we get things moving, get things going. Again, we want to update everyone that Mr. Neckles was found earlier today. And we're going to have his story. Hopefully, we get a chance to speak to him as well, as we did with the wife. Keep it locked to Ridealong Live. Ridealong Live is also brought to you with the kind compliments of Riders headphones. Yeah, Riders headphones. If you're looking for quality headphones, Bluetooth, and also this is where I get my headphones so I can show you guys. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. All right. Ridealong Live is brought to you by Riders headphones. Get your Riders headphones today. This is the Riders headphones. Voila. Get it right now. We have, these are the over-the-air headphones, right? It doesn't go in your ear. It goes over your ear, and it's so clean, so crystal clear. This is the open air concept. And of course, we have the Riders. These are amazing. It comes wired, and also it's Bluetooth as well. All right. So get your Riders headphones at ridersong.com. That's ridersong.com. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Don't forget also, if you have a business to advertise, you could inbox us and get your business promoted and marketed and advertised on Ridealong Live. Peace out, guys. Catch me again tomorrow. It's Immigration Tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, slide and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh, yeah. What you do makes a difference, and you get to decide what difference you make.
In 2020, I was nominated for the Carlino Award, which is the award for advocacy. It just ballooned from there. I decided to become an ambassador for my area, and my goal with that relationship was to build a relationship with my local politicians here and the ones that represent in Washington, to let them know what was happening with Alzheimer's, give them information, let them know that we need their support and so forth. It just opened a whole new world of people to network with and people who felt as passionate as I did about this cause, and I still do to this day.
All Pro Health Staffing, www.allprony.com.